Well, to the cashless debit card issue in Ceduna now, the federal government has appointed Senator for Western Australia Matt O'Sullivan to roll out a job-ready package at each of the trial sites. It's a $30 million program spread between trial areas, and the packages will cater to each region according to what the community tells Senator Mr O'Sullivan. Our reporter Evelyn Leckie spoke with him earlier, asking him what this job package will look like.
The Job Ready package is aimed at those card participants across the various CDC regions across Australia. It's aimed at getting people off welfare and into a job. The Australian government is really committed to the cashless debit card, and we do see it as a very responsible delivery of welfare payments, but we don't see it as the destination for job seekers. We want to see individuals that are there on the cashless debit card actually get off welfare and into a job. And we recognise that there are many reasons, many barriers that individuals might have to getting off welfare and into a job. For some, it's just maybe a lack of motivation, maybe their self-confidence. To others, right at the other end of the spectrum, it could be significant and multiple barriers to employment, like maybe drug and alcohol issues, and then there's people everywhere in between. And we've got to get better, and we've got to make sure that we're actually helping people to address whatever barriers they have to employment and get them trained and with the skills that are necessary for jobs that actually exist within these communities.
And it says that the package will be developed with communities. So does that mean you'll be visiting places like Ceduna and asking the community what sort of service they'll be needing?
Exactly. What we know and what we've seen time and time again is that when programs are just put upon communities, it doesn't have anywhere near the impact and the effect as actually having programs that are developed with the communities. And so that's the goal and the aim here. So I've already started engagement with Ceduna and the Far West region. We're going to make sure that we're responding to what will work within the communities, and we know that the community themselves know what will work, and so we've got to listen to that and make sure that that's what we're responding to.
So what were these sort of services, what are they going to likely look like? Will they be sort of physical offices where people can come in and there will be public servants that can assist these people?
There are actually a lot of good services being run already, but there might be some gaps. So it's really about strengthening those gaps and making sure that, for example, if there's maybe they're resourced at the moment to only have people fly in and fly out or itinerant delivering services on the ground, we might need to up the investment into these communities so that there's someone more permanently based or that can be relied on more regularly. So it's not so much about duplicating services but more adding to them. It's really about supplementing and complementing services that are already there. It's not just about having a bunch of public service driving around in their white Toyotas. It's really about having people that are on the ground that understand what is necessary to help people to address their barriers to employment.
So you'll be heading out to these trial sites, I guess, by the close to the end of this year. Does that mean that's when the consultation phase will be happening? And then when will we sort of likely see these package services actually physically roll out?
Yeah, look, it's a very good question. No, I plan to get out to these communities much sooner than that, but it's an iterative approach. So we're not just going to wait until all the consultation's done and then start delivering. We'll as we identify the needs and as proposals are received and then evaluated, we'll be funding initiatives on the ground. So that could happen straight away. There's no real need to wait till everything's completed. So we'll be working as quickly as we can to get the support on the ground and make sure that people are getting the support to move off welfare. The point I'd really like to make, what we've found across these communities is that there are, unfortunately, a large number of people that have been unemployed for a very, very long time. Many, in fact, are over 5 years. So there's an entrenchment of welfare dependency that actually needs to be supported to be broken, and that it's not just going to happen overnight. It requires quite significant investment of time and support to actually help people to break that welfare cycle. So we've got to make sure that any program that we're supporting has got the job in mind. It's got the view to a job in mind, and that's the key that we're going to be looking for.
And Matt, I guess final question, do you know the direction that the government's office is taking going forward dealing with this trial. They debated it late last year, and they've got the trial period was extended for 2 years. And crossbenchers like Rex Patrick told us there wasn't quite enough hard evidence to show that this card is actually working, other than some anecdotal evidence that can't really be put into context, he says. Is there any other way that the government plans to address these issues from the last debate?
Look, we certainly want to. The government is committed to the cashless debit card. We want to see it go on. One of the things that's frustrating for communities on the ground, and this isn't just around a cashless debit card trial, but just more generally when it comes to government delivery of services, is that stop-start sort of nature. So that the 2-year extension, while it was great for the communities that are here on the ground, we do want to make sure that there's an ongoing commitment and making sure that the communities on the ground actually really understand that there's a commitment not just to the card itself but to the wraparound services and the support like we've been discussing today. So we've got to make sure, in order for that to happen, the legislation has to be there. What we've seen and what we saw late last year with that debate was that the voices of the inner city activists that are online, that are trying to see something like this pulled down, are very, very loud, and they're very, very organised. But when you actually get on the ground and speak to people like what I've been doing, and you understand from individuals in the community about the impact of the card, for example, 59% of CDC participants who reported that they were drinking alcohol constantly, that they've seen a reducing of their intake of alcohol, and many have stopped drinking altogether. So when you actually hear from people about the impact that it's having on the ground, then it really puts a very different perspective on it.
That is Senator Matt O'Sullivan there.